Hey little hoes, my name is Kristen. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be one that I haven't done in a while. A word of the day video where I introduce you to a cool new botanical term or phrase. Hopefully you enjoy and find it interesting. So today's topic is one that I find super interesting. It is the word glaucous. This word hails from ancient Greek, where the meaning was blue-green gray or gleaming, such as the sea. The ancient Greeks also had a deity named Glaucus, and surprise, surprise, he was the patron god of sailors and fishermen. He actually started out as a mortal being, a fisherman by trade, and one day he noticed that dead fish were brought back to life by this magical herb. Well, people say that this magical herb was named dog's tooth, and some references say that dog's tooth is actually couch grass. Interesting factoid. Glaucus, after seeing that the dead fish were brought back to life from this herb, tried it himself and became immortal. And as all Greek mythology must have a payback or retribution, he had to pay for that immortality by growing some fins, like, a dolphin, or I guess a merman. He was kind of a merman, I guess. Nowadays, we tend to think of glaucous as more of a dull instead of gleaming, as it was suggested in ancient Greece. We think of it more of like a dull, drab coloration or matte. Glaucous is used in botany to describe those plants that have a very peculiar sort of waxy coating on the outside of the epidermis. This wax is called farina or epicuticular. This is a really tough word to say. Epicuticular. I'm going to use my notes down here to try and sound it out. Epicuticular. I think that's how you say it. Wax. This wax gives plants a very green, gray, blue coloration, and if any of you have burro's tail or some of the echeverias, some of the other cacti and succulents are very common plants to have it. You will know what I am talking about. It's very easy to distinguish it because it's easy to rub off that foliage. You will also notice it on various fruits and vegetables. So if any of you have grown grapes or picked plums right off the tree, you'll know that weird whitish coating or bloom, they sometimes call it. That is the wax. You will also notice it on a lot of vegetables like cabbage and kale. The purpose of this wax is to keep moisture in, hence why cabbage and kale last so long. Apples also have that wax coating to some degree, but in the process of picking it, it usually is rubbed off, which is why they have to go and re-wax those apples. In addition to keeping the plant or fruit from dehydrating too much or losing too much moisture, the wax is also hydrophobic, which means that it repels water and also dirt to some extent, keeping the plant clean, and also because it sort of dispels that water, it keeps bacteria and fungal issues from hurting the foliage or fruit. It's also been suggested that its kind of slick nature prevents bugs from laying eggs on it, as well as reflecting UV light, so it's essentially like a sunscreen. As you guys might know from growing some of these plants, it is very easy to rub this wax off with your fingers. You do want to try and avoid doing that, as well as avoid any sort of oil-based sprays like neem, horticulture oil, and things like that, because it will get rid of all that wax coating on your plants, which isn't a good thing, especially for your succulents. You do want to try and preserve that so that they can, keep themselves hydrated, not lose too much moisture. Apparently, it will eventually grow back, but it can take an extremely long time. So it's better to just avoid touching your plants that have that epicuticular wax as much as you can, at least. Anyway, I thought I might also do a little bit of a show and tell with the very few plants that have it in my collection. This Euphorbia horrida is a prime example. You can see that very powdery coating that's on the outside. And in some places it's sort of rubbed off or just flaked off. And this is a little piece that I accidentally just popped off of a little succulent plant. But I don't really care for this plant. One, you can see if you touch it, it snaps off. But it is good for demonstration purposes. See that? You can see my fingerprint where I've touched it. So this silver nickel dickia is another plant. If you see, I just made a little impression there. It's very flaky on this plant, that wax. So this is a Cebu blue pothos, or epipremnum, and it has that lovely silver blue colored foliage. However, I think this is one of those cases where you would not say it is glaucous in the terms that it has that wax. This is glaucous in the terms that the color is silvery blue. So I've been seeing a lot of interchangeable uses for the term glaucous, but I think most are correct as far as the plant should have that waxy coating. Otherwise, it is just a beautiful silvery blue color. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this word of the day. I'm going to try and come up with a few more along the way and do them ever so often. And that will be about it. So I hope you all enjoyed. I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.